So what's it like being the founder of one of the first advertisement counseling businesses in Italy? Like,
Yeah, not so bad. Yes. We started back in 2017, bringing a model to Italy that at the time didn't exist for local businesses. So we applied direct response online marketing to local services, especially in the health and in wellness niche. So we enter in this space in a very early stage. I had the chance to watch it evolving during the time. And for example, at the beginning, most professionals didn't even see marketing as a real thing. Maybe they could think it was a waste of money, or maybe something that was only for the big companies. But over years, we have seen now awareness, expectations, and also competition change dramatically. Now to do marketing is normal, also for small businesses. So being inside this kind of transformation was exciting.
cool. Why did you choose the health sector? Was it something that you were like connected to
Mhm.
previously, or you just chose it because it was a better market or a market with more opportunity?
Yes, this was mainly because I started with a job as a fitness trainer into a gym. So I began at 18 or 19, and I was studying and I started to work very early. So I enjoyed that period of my life, but it wasn't. I wasn't just interested in training people in the gym. I wanted to understand how that market work and what was the psychological triggers for the people that influence decisions. So I did that for about 10 years, and that's why I started to understand this market. And in the same time, I started studying the online marketing, and I decided to apply those strategies first to myself, because I wanted to switch from fitness trainer in the gym to personal trainer. So I started studying these things for me. But then the results were very, very good. So I realized that many other professionals in the same niche maybe could have the same need. So I started to see also in the health niche, because in that period, for example, I knew some physiotherapist or a nutritionist, and they had the same problem that I had when I became a self-employed. So that combination, I think that is common in the market. So the people maybe are very good in their job, in their professional, but they aren't so good in marketing. So that was the hole that I saw in this market, and I started to do this also with other people.
Mm. I'm curious, what what do you mean by you studied? What did you study? Did you read books? Was it some kind of
Yeah,
how did you
some
study the market? I'm curious as somebody who wants to
Yeah,
learn.
yeah, yeah. Sometimes I went to the gym to do my job as a trainer, and I remember that in the morning, because in the gym there wasn't many people. Maybe there was only 3 or 4 old men that was training alone. So I bring the books in the gym. I started to read. I remember that I started to read books about personal growth, about marketing. So I compound the time that I was working also to grow my knowledge and to understand the marketing. So I tried to do both things. And in the meanwhile, I also was studying at the university, so I did communication. But the truth is that maybe I have learned more in the experience than not in university. So most of the studies was by myself.
Mm. Okay, that's beautiful. Books. I know. I knew from Julian that you didn't do the university path, and I was also curious about that because I've also had my own like questions.
Uh-huh.
Like, okay, is university worth it? I've done my course for 3 years as well. Funny enough, I've done it in sports sciences.
Mm-hmm.
So you talking about personal training is interesting to me because that's a part of our study as well. And you talked about the transition there where you said, hey, this marketing seems to work for myself. I want to,
Mm-hmm.
give that option to other people and make money
Yeah.
from it. Was there a deeper psychological reason for you starting a business? Was it just straightforward, like, oh, I'm doing this well, other people that easy? Or was there something inside you, like, oh, I really want to build a business?
Yes,
Wanted to
it
know a bit
was.
more.
It was a process, so it was a bit long. It's not one day I wake up and say, okay, let's do it. But it was a process. So at the beginning, in the gym, earnings weren't very good. So obviously, my income was limited.
Mm.
But what I didn't tell you is that wasn't my only activity. So I had another, let's call business that was a bit strange because while working as a personal trainer or a fitness trainer, I also started playing poker. So I was also a poker player,
Mm.
and this just arrived in Italy in that period. And I have approached poker studying and treating it as a profession. So I started playing online, moving up through stakes over the time. And sometimes I remember that earnings was very good because some months, often I did also 7 or 80,000 a month. So when you are 20, it's a good
Yeah.
amount of money. And I remember that sometimes I even forgot to go to collect my salary in the gym because at the point the gym it was more like a passion project, not like the main work. So I did the two things together, and then when I was doing this, I remember that was a Saturday during the night. I lost in one night 7,000 euros. So
Wow.
in a single session, and it's something that in poker is called tilt. And so I remember it very well, and it was luckily the only time that happened. So it was just once, but that night made the two things very clear. So the first was that that lifestyle was stressful, very stressful.
Mm.
And the second was that I also became uncomfortable with the idea that I could won only if someone else lost. So this
Right.
started to feel a bit empty. So that's why I decided to take the online opportunity that I saw in poker and apply it to something that was constructive before in my business. So I started the first with B2C, acquiring clients for the personal training profession, and then in B2B because helping other professionals to build client acquisition systems. So I started as self-employed, and soon I needed also to hire a little company to handle all the delivery services, and here we are.
Right. I'm gonna ask this question.
Yeah.
What do you think poker taught you about business and life?
Yeah, poker is a good gym also because it's a business. So you are with yourself. You have to manage your mindset. You have to take risks, but you have also to manage with handle the risk. So you understand lots of things that are typical of the business. It's I think it could be similar to trading. Poker, like a mindset, is very similar to trading. And so yes, I started to understand a lot of things, but I think that the best part is that poker gave me the thought that there wasn't only one path, that I could do also different ways, different paths that maybe people don't consider, but that could be also very very successful, and you can be happy also with other decisions in life.
Hmm. You touched upon the word success there. Do you ever think you were driven by success? Like, I want to be successful. Like, some people have that very strong mentality, you know.
Mm.
You think that was a part of yours, or no?
No, maybe not. I didn't have the the thing that I must be successful. I wasn't a guy that like motivation or that do stuff like this. But I was moved uh, mainly by stability. So I wanted to be. I want to build a stability in my life. That's why I was also I did some things because maybe I was searching some stability, I think. So
Okay.
I wasn't about I must be successful, but I like to improve myself. So I focused on improve myself, not to obtain a result. So it was like I must be better. I must learn this, learn that, and day by day, I think that I was this kind of people that could also obtain success.
Okay. Beautiful. And what was your dream starting out? And do you think that you fulfilled somewhat that dream?
Yeah, so I've always been quite grounded, so I never had flashy dreams like, for example, buying specific things, cars, watches, or showing status. So from a young age, what mattered to me was stability. Yes, so I was probably more motivated by what I didn't want to uh, tha- than by what I wanted. So I didn't want to live a conventional life. Poker maybe showed to me also that there are different things that you can do, and maybe for other people you are crazy, but you can do the same. And I didn't want to spend hours every day in traffic. That here in my city, it was very common. Or, for example, to come home after work that you are exhausted or hating your job. I didn't like these things. So my real dreams was to live an unconventional life, I think.
Hmm.
Not because it, it's romantic, but because it's good to have a different vision, and maybe this force you to think independently. For example, also living abroad and being able to travel was part of that vision. And maybe today if it's normal for me to live abroad, to travel, but years ago maybe it was a part of the dream. Yes, so I can say that I am now living the dream of 10 years ago right now. Yeah.
That's amazing. That's really good to hear. And what do you think you learned about yourself through that process of, because you talked about self improvement? What did you learn about yourself?
Yeah, lots of things. So the first lesson maybe was the organization, because when you work for others, the organization part is invisible because someone else take the responsibility for everything. So
Mm.
when you start to work for yourself, you realize that the organization is important. It's not an optional. So you have sometimes to learn it from zero, and sometimes you realize that it's more important than technical skills. And also, I learned that the importance of your word. Yes, because when you don't work for yourself, you don't think about this thing, but I think a reputation compounds over time. So it's like the money. Protecting it sometimes means making also strong decisions, uncomfortable decisions in the short term, but then in the long term, this help you to develop a business. So that's the second thing. And maybe the last one is not about the business. So beyond this, I learned that more about how the world actually works. Once you start dealing with money, you begin to understand that the role of the media, the politics, the trends. The thing is that finance drives much more than people realize. So until you start making money, it's something difficult to understand this deeply. So I think this is the knowledge that you can have from this journey.
What did you mean by organization? And I'm not asking in a general term. I'm asking like a specific term in your market. What did that imply?
Yeah, I think
Was it
that is
like a social media organization? Was it like
no, not
what does
only.
it mean?
It's more like a personal organization because I think this is very common to professionals that sell services. And sometimes I saw, for example, some years ago, I needed a lawyer, and I tried to contact online some lawyers for this thing that I have to do. And I saw that most of them they weren't organized because maybe they didn't are able to organize the agenda, or maybe I called them the secretary and they didn't call back. So this is crazy for me because you are working, you are spending money to have clients, you are doing all the things to have more clients, and then you don't have the process to take money from this client. So you lost opportunities because maybe you don't remember to call a client, and this is crazy because for me is very strange this, because I saw that sometimes people really appreciate when you treat like them like a person, because if I call you and I cannot respond, I call you back, or I give you some explanation, or I am sincere with you, so I don't lie. I tell you the truth. I am transparent. They really appreciate this, and it's not something difficult. It's something normal that sometimes could be things that are normal into a relationship, not only professional but normal relation. But some people forget this. So to be very consistent in these things, for me, it's part of the organization, and is a part that leads you to results.
Okay, thank you for sharing that. Did you think you had to break any limiting beliefs about yourself to to achieve the goals that you wanted to get to?
Yeah. I think poker, as I said before, helped me a lot with this. So, for example, showed me that you can do many things in your life, and the biggest thing I think that is don't think what other people thinks about you. For example, many people are thinking that the others are always right, okay? And the majority, in my experience, is often wrong. So I realized this in the last years, but when I was young, I didn't know this, because in many areas of the life, maybe I was saying, okay, they are telling all the people telling this, so it must be true. But now I know that it's not like this. So one thing is understand this as a concept, so just intellectually. And another thing is living it. So, for example, when I was playing poker, there were lots of people that was saying, "You're crazy. You have not to do this. You have to study. You have to do a normal job." But with the time, then I was right because I came out with a result. So one thing is know this intellectually, and one thing is discover it doing. So I think that is something different. So once that this belief is collapsed, applying the same mindset to other areas became very easier. So I think this is the most important belief that I have to overcome. So the thing that the people is right, but there aren't, often there aren't.
Yeah, it seems to be a trend. I've talked with a couple people, and they're like, I don't know. Sometimes I feel it a little bit in myself, which is I'm a very curious person. I want to ask people questions, as I am
Yeah.
doing now, and sometimes they give you certain answers, and you look at them and you're like, maybe this person, because we think, well, I did growing up that adults were supposed to know everything, and I was like, oh wait, maybe they don't, and maybe I need to trust myself a little bit more. And I think that goes in line with what you were saying. I wanted to ask, what kind of advice would you give to either a younger you or to a younger person with ambitions who wants to build something for the future?
Yes, advice maybe the first one is to try. So it's normal that you are a bit insecure at the beginning, but the first thing is to try. But I think that this kind of advice is very common today because today also uh, entrepreneurship is very common. It's not an exception like 20 or 30 years ago. Now with the technologies, is easier to become a self-employed or entrepreneur. So it's
Mm-hmm.
nothing special. Maybe the best advice is not what to do, but what don't do. So maybe the best advice is don't be don't be attracted from easy money because it doesn't exist, and don't be just about motivation, but trying to be disciplined. So it's like the people now want every time the sexy things. So in the business, I think that also the boring things are underrated because sometimes the boring things are the things that go to build your edge, your advantage in the market. So
Mm-hmm.
don't only be the shiny object syndrome. So go to see what's good, what's cool, what to do now, what to buy, but try to understand what you really have to do to go to that result. For example, when we see also in social media, we only see the result, but we never see what's behind that result. So you have to understand what's behind and do what is behind, not what you see.
Hmm. I was gonna say, you mentioned insecurity there, and I wanted to ask you what your relationship with insecurity was
Mhm.
when you were younger, either as a person, like at a personal level, or from the business standpoint, as you mentioned before.
Okay. Uh, yeah, I think that insecurity is a part of the process. So anyone who say otherwise is lying, or maybe they haven't pushed themselves far enough.
Hmm.
So when, for example, I started my own business, I faced the situations that wasn't expected, of course. So I never experienced before that situation. So I think, for example, recently I hosted a 3-night event in front of 200 doctors, and it was something I wouldn't have believed possible 10 years ago.
Hmm.
But this moment are, yes, are uncomfortable, but are necessary. So in this case, there is a thing that maybe could be also an advice. And in my example, this helped me because I was scared too. But in this case, is what helped me is observing nature. What do nature? For example, a tree doesn't have to wait to feel ready or validated to do a thing. It grows as much as it can under the conditions. So this is how it works with nature, right? So growth doesn't ask for the perfect moment, the permissions. You have you know that you have to do this thing to grow, so you have to do. Doesn't care, and then you can learn from it. Maybe the first time it won't be perfect for sure, but this is what that allow you to grow as a tree, as a person. Is the same thing. That's it.
Okay, thank you. That's pretty good. I like that. And you said easy money before.
Mm.
What do you classify as easy money, and what do you mean that we should avoid it?
Yeah, easy money is just an idea, I think, but it's not a real thing because easy money, especially with social media, internet, there are people that say, do this, do that, it's easy, it's simple, stuff like this. It's true that technology help us because today it's very easy comparing to the past to start a business. Very, very easier.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing that you are always searching for a solution that should be simple is what that in the reality is not making you success because when you do something that is easy, everyone can do it. So if you do this starting making money, then come another guy, same idea, same thing, and the market also be more competitive. So you have to look for difficult things, not easy things, because you have to build the moat. You know, the moat is like the edge in the market.
Mm-hmm. Is there? I was specifically also asking if there's a certain model that you've seen people try to get easy money from, and what model is that? The idea that came to my head was like drop shipping. Is drop shipping easy
Yeah,
money?
yeah, stuff like this. For me, for example, when I started to do my agency business, I wasn't looking for money models or stuff like this. I know about drop shipping, affiliate marketing, Kindle publishing, all this stuff is okay, but the problem is that you see it as a money model, but these are not money model. These are things that is okay if you do it like a business. For example, Kindle publishing, perfect. There are people that could also do billions with this, but they are doing like a business, not okay. Let's do some money and then we we do other things.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that everything works, but it's more the way you are seeing to it. So you are treating like okay, cash cow business. For me, it's strange to look at this like a cash cow. For me, doesn't have to exist a definition like this because a business is something that you build to create an impact to help other people. So the consequences are the money, but this is not the reason of the business.
Okay. So you believe there has to be some kind of, it doesn't have to be passion, but meaning behind it to succeed.
Yeah. It can also be related with the personal experience, with the values of the person, but for sure, it's not only about passion because when you do a business, when you do money, for sure you are not treating what you do in the same ways. For example, if I was personal trainer and I have maybe 3 clients a day, I enjoyed to do it. But if I, for example, I create a platform that earn billions and that has 1,000 personal trainers on it, I'm sure that is not fun like to do in gym, to do exercise. It's another work. So it's about what you like, yes, but it's also how you treat it. Not
Okay.
not just do what you want or do what you like. Okay, do what you are interested in it, but create a business around it.
Mm. Okay, that's good advice. Okay, I'm just trying to like think of applications for that.
Ah,
Because
yeah.
yeah. Okay, thank you for sharing that. I wanted to shift a little bit towards advertising because also I'm curious about like the
Mhm.
advertising market and how it works.
Yeah.
But before we go there, I wanted to ask. So talking kind of that thing with easy money and building your own things. If you had to start today, people are going to be curious, right? Even me, like, okay, well, if you had to start something in 2026, what would you do, for example? Go if you had to start from nothing.
Ah, okay, from zero.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that today there are many opportunities. So both in tech market and also in traditional markets, a lot of opportunities. I think that when you build a business, you have to look markets that are going to grow. For example, when I started in my niche with my agency, Meta and Google were 4 or 5 times smaller than today. This
Mm.
means that when I started, I I, um, I made myself a question. Okay, what will happen in the next years? What happens with advertising? What happens with social media, with Google, with Meta? And I was trying to do a prevision. So when you start something, you are doing a prevision. So that's why today, personally, if I have to start from zero, maybe I will choose something that is connected to human relationships,
Mm.
because I think that people today are hungry for this. Modern life is not very social in the original term. So modern
Mm.
life constantly push the people away from real life, from real relationships. But this is something that they can do without. So if the goal were purely financial, if we have to do money, maybe I could start the AI companion market, something in this market. So there are some bot, you can chat with this bot. They are like a companion, okay? And
Mm.
I think this is a market that is very good today to make money. You need very good lawyers because it's not easy that side of the business.
Sure.
But maybe if I have to focus on the impact instead of the money,
Mm.
maybe I will focus on consulting around the professional client relationship. I think that this is something today important.
And what kind of process do you do, or like what are tips that you can give somebody, like fresh out of uni, like looking to build? You said identifying future markets. Like that's such a big concept, It's like, okay, well, how am I supposed to do that?
No, you don't have to invent nothing. You can see what already is working. Maybe something that is working good, but you see that in that niche there are some problems, and you can come out with a similar service or product, but going to solve and fix that problems. So I think that you don't have to do everything from zero.
Okay, interesting. Okay. Um, if I was to build a business, for example, and I have limited, financial ability, how would you advise somebody go about, like marketing? Would you choose a
Yeah.
specific channel like Google Ads, Facebook? How
Mhm.
would I test? What kind
Yeah,
of
yeah, yeah.
what kind of insight could you
Yeah,
give on?
today I think the best platform is Meta, but not it's not only about the platform. I think it could depend of the kind of business or startup that we are talking about. But
Mm.
my approach, I think, will be simple. So I would work with the first client for free. Okay, so you are starting, try to have a result before, because some people maybe try to do sales and then they go in the Facebook group. Okay, now I have made my first sale. What to do now? No, it's not like this. You have before to do the result, so you are sure that you are able to give result to the client. So my advice is start with work for free with a client, build a strong case study, and with this result, then you can use a small budget to advertising your result to other leads. So with one result, you can grow up a list or make clients that want the same result. And that was exactly how I started. I did like this, exactly.
Okay. Okay, that's helpful. If somebody gave you an objective like, hey, I want to make $100,000 in 6 months, because you're maybe laughing, but if somebody said that to you, what would? It's a genuine question I have. What would you say to them? Like, that's
Yeah, no,
impossible,
I
or
was
no, you
laughing.
have to scale at a certain rate. I don't know. What would you say?
Ah, yeah. No, because I'm currently developing an idea that I can't yet share. So if
No
someone
problem.
want to know the developing, should follow me. Okay, but
Sure.
this kind of idea is for make a plan like this. So 100K in 6 months. I think it's very. No, I don't want to say easy, but it's very possible, especially in B2B market, because it's not strange to identify a common problem that maybe a business have inside and implement a better system inside. For example, you can manage the sales, so you can train or build a sales network structure, or maybe you can implementing processes with a CRM, because many people are good in their jobs but cannot do anything about these things because they are very technical. So you can be a person that fix the systems inside the companies, or maybe the sales. And with this, I think it's not difficult to reach we have said 100K in 6 months. So it's about
Right.
15 or 20K a month. Yes.
So you're talking principally about service businesses and business to business opportunities, right?
Yeah. I think this is the fastest way, but it's not the only way. You can also do things in B2C. For example, the thing that I'm doing is in B2C market, but maybe this is a little bit slower, but the market is very wider. So the important thing, I think, is not what you choose to do, but is the execution. Because if you execute well, it's you can do this 100K, but also you are building a business. But without good execution, you don't have a business. It's just like a scam, because you are selling well, but then you are not delivering.
Right. Okay. I want to know what would you do though? Would you run a lot of ads? Would it be a lot of investment into advertisement, or you don't think that's so important? What role would advertisement play? Because that's what I'm starting to understand. Okay, you can create a business, but if you don't have market, okay, but you got to get the market through advertisement. What would you do? Is it paid ads? Is it generic ads? What kind of solutions would you look for? Do you test the market first through like meta opportunities? Like, oh, test this. Okay, there's availability. There's a market, and then go into that, or no?
Yeah, I think that many people also can already know what could works just by experience. Because if you have a project in your niche, is because you know the people of the market. So maybe you know what are the problems, what are they looking for. So most of the people that have an idea, I think that that idea came from something. So uh, yes, but
Okay.
I think also that advertising today is very important. And this is also because it was becoming very easy to do it, and so you have to do it well, not only to do advertising, but to do very good advertising. You can test also without advertising. For example, I was speaking about to work with the first client for free. You don't need advertising to find a person that want your service free, because if your service is good, there should be a market that want it for free. And then once you have a case study, you can go to the wide market with advertising. Yes.
Okay, I see. And what are some harsh truths that you would tell somebody, a business owner starting out, for example, about advertisement?
Yeah, the first truth is that is no more optional. So one time in the past, maybe people can think that advertising or marketing is not for them. But today, I think that also small businesses without marketing is extremely difficult to do.
Mm.
So the competition now is increasing a lot. So the markets become more refined. Doing everyone alone is harder than ever. So I think that another uncomfortable truth is choosing who to trust, because today there are a lot of promises, guaranteed results, stuff like this, but often these kind of promises are to avoid, because at the end of the day, the proven result and also personal ethics matter more than anything else. So you have to be very accurate to select people to um, to, to to do
To
this
work with.
kind of work. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Fair. And this is taking it back to what we talked about money models before. Is
Hmm.
there any like successful money model? It can be in the wealth, the health sector that you see being very successful, like a specific money model.
There are lots of money models. In my niche, what maybe has changed everything was the direct marketing model, because today is very easy also for normal people like me, for example, like everyone, to track the numbers. So if you can track the numbers with today model of advertising, you can also scale up, you can fix, you can do a lot of things that in the past you need, for example, 20 people and a big company to do it, and today you can do very easy. If you mean by money models, you mean, for example, strategies or commercial offers, there are a lot. So there isn't like one thing that works. I think there are many things, probably hundreds of offers that are okay, but everything starts with research. So today we know that AI is very useful, but many people use AI to do practical things like copywriting or editing or stuff like this. I use personally AI to do market research, because this is the part that for me is more important, and AI is very strong to do market research.
Okay, that's good insight. Yeah, AI is very powerful, especially if you pay the the paid versions. But okay, now shifting a little bit more to you, um, I want to ask what interests you as a person
Oh yeah,
outside of
my
this all.
okay. My
Yeah.
interests have changed over time. Yeah, I
Mm.
used to focus almost exclusively on technical aspect of wellness, of marketing in the past. Today, I'm interested in topics like, for example, taxations, economics, finance, and U.S. politics also. So that's curious because I'm European anyway.
Yeah.
I no longer follow traditional news. So I realized that in the past I was interested about the normal things of society, what people speak about, soccer, sport, and I don't know, everything.
Hmm.
But now I look at, for example, I look a lot of financial markets every day, almost. And I believe you can learn more from charts than from the BBC, the Fox News, the television in general.
Yeah.
So yeah, my interests now are very wide. I try to study everything that I think is could be useful in the future.
Mm. I like that. It's interesting, moving up and like focusing on different things. I also like want to get there one day where I'm like, I don't know if you read books on it or I guess articles and charts, right? Like taxation and all those things. It's kind of like what you said, when you have your own money involved and you have your business
Mm.
going, then like
Yes, but
all the
you
things
know
go
that
out the window.
it's not only because of the business. It's about like an interest because I
Mm-hmm.
started to study taxation before, and now I'm studying finance. But I'm not at the point of my journey uh, that finance is not so important right now, but could be maybe in 10 years from now. You
Mm-hmm.
know, so I'm studying more than what I need really. But I think that it's like part of evolution because the Darwin theory, no? So the
Yeah.
species are evolving when they start to do more effort, more effort, more effort, and you are evolving. So I try to do it before, not when I need, but before, because I want to evolve, not just to have the information when I need.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. Nice. That's great. What's your philosophy for life?
This hard question.
It's what I ask every guest on the podcast.
Yeah. Oh, my philosophy is about growth, I think. So not only economic, but in a broader sense. So
Mm.
I spend most of my free time right now learning. So uh, yeah, I was saying even when the things don't seem immediately useful, I like also to continue to study, and I think that the change doesn't happen through small adjustment. So you have to build like a redundant, how to say in English, like redundancy. Is it right?
Uh, be redundant in your studies? Are you
Yeah,
saying be
exactly,
redundant? Not
exactly.
be
Yeah,
redundant. Be
yeah, yeah,
redundant.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So yes, I want to build this excess of capacity. I want to grow more than I need in this moment.
Mm-hmm.
For example, when I started the company, I didn't just look for the information that I strictly needed. I built a surplus of useful knowledge, and over time, this pulled my attention toward areas like I was saying, finance or taxation, more than I was needing in that moment. And
Mm-hmm.
I think it's like this is a quotation from Steve Jobs that saying was saying in Stanford, and this is underrated because everyone remember stay hungry, stay foolish. But I like the part that is connecting the dot because
Mm-hmm.
you now do things, you are doing something, but you don't know how in the future the thing that you are doing now will connect. So you have
Yeah.
to have trust that one day what you are doing today will be useful, and you are, for this reason you have to do more possible today. So that's in one quotation my philosophy.
Mm. Ultimate growth. I also always like want to get better, so it's nice to hear that from somebody. Are you a very like productivity kind of person, or does that not like? Is it just growth, or is it productivity mixed in it, or
No,
no?
both the thing. I think that productivity is like a requirements of growth. So yes, you
Yeah.
you have to learn how to be productive. That could be very different to different people. So
Mm.
I don't believe that there is only one routine in the morning or stuff like this, because I'm very unconventional
Okay.
in this topic. So that's why I started to be unconventional, and I don't like the scripted things
Mhm.
or routines and stuff like this. But for sure, you have to know yourself, not only in the business, but also in the life as a person, and as a body also, and you have
Mhm.
to optimize all the process.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's also something I've been learning. Like, it's not always just like doing more and more, like productivity. You have to do your own things. I know you
Mhm.
take your time to take care of yourself. You know, you were a personal trainer before, and you do your
Yeah.
courses. And it's not just like, well, I have to be productive 10 hours a day. I don't know. That's why I was kind of asking, because that's quite a common thing. I dealt with it too. Like, if I'm not productive from 8 to 6 or whatever, like you're not gonna make it. Like, so
No,
yeah.
no, no, no. You're right. For me, it's very important to have like how to say equilibrium, right?
Mhm.
No,
Yeah.
equilibrium between the work and also the physical activities. Because as a personal trainer, I am very I already used to do it, so I
Mhm.
never change this habit, because I know that if I go to gym and then I work very better. So even if I am busy, I never skip the gym or the wellness or to drink water or stuff like this.
Mhm. Sleep is also
Sleep
very
also.
important.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Any life hacks? I'm sure you know the term. Any life hacks that you've been using recently?
Yeah, yeah.
Whether for productivity or can be for happiness or contentment, whatever it is.
No, I have one life hack that is very nice, I think, because I am recently listening to audiobooks while
Okay.
training at the gym. So
Okay.
it lets me train both body and mind in the same time. So
Mhm.
for me, it's very good, and I honestly don't know why more people don't do this. I'm probably in my gym. I am the only one that do stuff like this. Maybe they don't know that I'm hearing my audiobooks. Maybe
Yeah.
they think that I'm listening to music. That is
Mhm.
normal,
Mhm.
but for me it's very good. It's very good, and it's unconventional. But I suggest to try, because it's cool. You can listen to the book that you like, maybe useful for your life, for your
Mhm.
work, for what you like. Also, novel, why not?
Yeah.
And I think it's good. I don't know why. For some reason, people now today are happy to spend like 15 euros a month on Netflix, but don't want to spend 10 euros on Audible or stuff like this, because it's
Yeah.
really an hack to listen to books.
True. But you don't read any books? Do you still read, or because I
In the
like
past,
audiobooks too, but I can't like constantly have earphones in my head, so I like to read.
uh, recently, I listen more audiobooks because I don't have much time to read, and also I like also other type of contents. For example, in my niche, it's not easy to find books that are updates. So I
Yeah.
do more consultation, masterminds. There are different kind of contents that are not to read.
Hmm.
But in the past, I read a lot, yes, and today I prefer audiobook. I buy a lots I buy lots of books, but I don't have the time to read it.
Okay. Because I was going to ask what books have you been reading, but we can adapt it and say, well, what books have you been listening to?
Hmm. Yeah. Now say it again. Sorry.
What books have you been listening to recently?
Oh, recently, yes, I am listen to the bio of Mike Tyson. Yeah,
Okay. Interesting.
yeah. Or sometimes also I listen to the book of a character that I likes. For example, a biography of Elon Musk, stuff like this, or
Okay.
also some novels that I like in that period.
Is there any books that you would suggest for people? Like one that is like
Mm.
one you like if someone says, "Hey man, you can only give me a couple books to recommend," what would you recommend for them?
Yeah, I can recommend Influence by Robert Cialdini. I don't know
Hmm.
if you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
For me, I read this on paper. So in the past, I read a lot,
Okay.
and it was a turning point for me. This one.
Okay.
I think it's very useful for understanding not only the tactical, like selling stuff like this. This is very
Mhm.
practical, but the thing that I think is very good is the behavioral psychology behind the sales. So
Mhm.
I like it a lot. And another one, more strategically, is Start with Why by Simon Sinek.
I've heard of that one. Start with why. Okay.
Yeah.
Why? What's good about that book? Because I've heard
It's
about
about
it, but I
it's
was like,
about uh, it's about how the brain works, especially applied to the big companies. So
okay.
the thing that communication must start with why. For example, in advertising, if you start with why, it's very powerful. But instead, many companies start with we do this, how we do it, but
Mhm.
no one start with why. Apple is an example that the author brings in the book that start always, especially in the past when it was a really disruptive company, with why.
Mm. Okay. And now we do a couple questions. One is from our previous guest,
Ah,
and one is for you to leave for the next guest. Normally,
okay.
it's that's the way it works. So normally they're more profound questions, but our previous guest left the question, which is, "What is your dream car?"
My dream car. I'm sorry, I'm not the right person to do it because I like cars. Nothing special. I'm not
Mm,
passionate about cars. I like good cars, but I don't know the name of the models. I'm not
sure.
very updated about it. But I like Tesla in general because
Okay.
when I moved in Portugal, I saw that there was a lot of Tesla, and I like Tesla. I changed my mind about electric cars recently,
Okay.
so I will be Tesla. And I say it also because I know that most people today don't like Tesla and don't
Okay.
like Elon Musk. And I say Tesla also for this because I am a
That's fair.
contrarian.
That's fair. And what kind of question would you like to leave for a guest?
Yeah, I want to ask. This is not a personal question, but I want to ask this because it's a question that I want to do to people. What would the world be like today without the media? This is the question. What would the world be like today without the media?
That's actually a very good question. I don't know if they'll imagine what the answer would be, but let's see.
It's not easy. It's not easy.
Okay, perfect. Well, it's been awesome having this conversation.
Thank you,
What
Jason.
what's next for you? What's coming up next?
Now I have to work a bit today, and we are working for a new project in the next weeks that we are launching to improve our services for the business that we are supporting.
Okay, I would love to see what develops there. And where should people find you if they want to either work with you or contact you, what's the best way to get to you?
Yeah, they can find me on Instagram, Alessandro Di Nicola 89. That's my nickname on Instagram, and we can talk from them. From them, we can talk. I am old school, so if you chat me there, I will give my number, and we can talk with voice.
Okay, perfect. I'll also put some of the links down in the bio so people can find
Yeah.
it.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.